upper reaches of skiing are really dominated by a handful of people that have devoted their whole careers to their art. I mean, you see them in the movies every year and you see them in the magazines, but to get there, it's a long road of racing, freestyle, just free skiing and contests and grinding away every day, year after year, season after season, to build a name up for yourself so you do have those sponsors and you do have those people that want to put you in the movies.
When it comes to perseverance, it's interesting taking a look at Griffin, who started competing in 2006, 2007, competed through 2009 really hard, and then moved on to these other things. And right now he's at really the pinnacle for free skiers.
After doing the contest scene for about 4 or 5 years, I moved to Jackson, and my sponsors lined up with a lot of the sponsors from Teton Gravity Research, and so I got on with them, filming a lot of B-roll around Jackson, and that was kind of my big foot in the door, my chance to prove myself. And for once I was finally kind of realizing that dream. I mean, contests were great, but filming and being out there every day with one of the people that sets the benchmark was what I'd always thought about. That's why I started competing in the first place, why I'd grinded it out for so long. And after a season filming with TGR, the stars kind of aligned for me, and the same guy that called me earlier gives me a call and is like, hey, do you want to go to Alaska with Seth Morrison, Sage Katabriga-Lissa, and Ian McIntosh? And I was just like, yeah. I mean, I didn't even think. I was like, yeah, definitely. And I couldn't believe it was actually happening. And Seth in particular, I'd looked up to him for so long, and I remember I was just in the back of the helicopter, just looking at him, just like super nervous. We get to the zone, and I expect this legend to bite off the biggest chunk of mountain, just send it. And I'm talking to him about this line. I'm like, so what are you gonna ski? And he's like, I'm probably just gonna ski down the gut. The snow's not that good. I'm just gonna go warm up around him. And at that moment, I was just so blown away. Even these guys that are such talented skiers, they wait till the conditions are exactly right, and they don't push it when it's not time to push it. That season, Alaska wasn't this breakthrough in my career as far as skiing in Alaska goes, but I think it proved to myself that I was able to hang with that crowd, and also my sponsors, that I was willing in a lot of ways go into my own pocket and make those trips happen, show that I would see this sport through to the highest levels. And I think that was probably the biggest benefit I got out of that trip. For me, these last several years, I've really learned how many ranges are out there, how many crazy mountains there are, and what you can get to through a little willpower, a little resourcefulness, and just being able to suffer a little bit more than everybody else. And there's so much left to be explored out there through camping and climbing and mixing mountaineering with free skiing, and I think that's really where I see myself going.
I'm moving away from competing because I'm ready to push myself in a different element of skiing. I've been competing for 7 years, and I'm ready to kind of move on to different things. I still love free riding, but I also like being human powered to get to those mountains and go to remote places where not everybody can go. And that's the part I'm excited to transition into, and having new experiences and like a new chapter of my skiing. And when people ask, what are you gonna do this year? I'll say, oh gosh, I have to have all these plans, and it's like all of a sudden it's more of an identity thing, like who am I gonna be this year? What am I gonna do in the ski industry this year? Am I pressured? Do I have to do something? Do I have to prove something to myself? Or do I just want to go out and ski and do these things for myself, which I should do? But then it gets hard when you're getting externally pressured, like your friends, your sponsors, your family, people around the community, people at my gym. So what are you doing skiing this year? What are you gonna do? What are your goals? And I'm like, because I am making that transition, and right now I'm trying to leave that open so I can plan and do things that I want to do. And obviously I have a lot of objectives in the back of my brain, but there's no set plan. And usually it's easy. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this competition, this competition, this competition. That's way easier when somebody asks me that.
Crystal Wright, on the competitive side, she persevered through multiple injuries to stay at the top. She has to be close to the most consistent, high-level competitor ever on the free ski tour for women. Two-time world champion, a couple years between, and an injury in there she had to recover from. And now she also is moving on beyond competitions.
now that ski mountaineering and doing more trips and more objectives in the mountains is turning my #1 thing. That's kind of exciting. Being unknown in that part of the sport and finding partners is tough, and if I do want to go further with that, obviously it's nice to have sponsorship help and find partners that can go and have help with planned trips. I've only planned a couple trips, and so it's scary to go on my own and start planning my own trips. I think I could definitely pull like a team together, but I don't quite have enough experience with the planning of a big expedition.
I've heard no far more times in my career than I ever heard yes, and a lot of that is just writing emails, hearing no, smiling through your teeth, saying thank you, and in the back of your mind you're like, all right, you're gonna be sorry. Like, that's just more fuel for the fire. And I've always tried to turn those rejections into something positive. And it's definitely feels like you get beat down sometimes, where you see other people having success and you feel like you should be having that success, but I think the most important thing is to turn that rejection into something positive, and getting up and just proving all those people wrong. And it's like a lot of other things in life. I think most people that have persevered have very similar stories, and I don't think skiing's any different.